Fucking yikes on bikes,
Fuck,
dude.
man. This from the Texas Observer. ICE prosecutor in Dallas runs white supremacist X account. And it's not like remotely defensible. This is straight up the most aggressive white supremacist shit. I want to read some of the stuff that's on this piece of shit's
Let me call
Twitter.
it up. I'll call it up on the big screen for us.
Here we go. Here's what this piece of shit said. Here's what he posted. America's a white nation founded by whites. Our country should favor us. All blacks are foreign to my people, dumb fuck. Freedom of association hasn't existed in this country since 1964 at the absolute latest. And he says later, I'm not a commie, I'm a fascist. Fascists solve communist problems. Get your insults right. He also shared an image.
There's an R slur there, by the way. It's on the screen.
Yeah, I just didn't want to say it. Then he says, he shares an image that says, it is our holy duty to guard against the foreign hordes. And he says also, nobody's proposing feeding immigrants into tree shredders yet. Give it a few more weeks at this level of invasion, and that will become a moderate position. Then he says, in January, my World War II vet grandfather didn't get a chance to kill Asians, so he volunteered for Korea. He'd be asking for a short-term job with ICE, kicking doors and swinging a baton.
Oh,
just the worst shit. And the only reason I even wanted to read that stuff is because, like, I think that there is a tendency to say, oh, yeah, you know, the left paints everything as racist. The left paints everything as white.
Yeah, you hear that.
Like, if that's not it.
If that's not white supremacy,
nothing is.
What is it then?
Yeah.
What is it? Like you were saying before, show me what a Hitler salute looks like then.
Right. Yeah.
If that's not racist, what is racist?
Then show
me what racist is then.
Yeah.
Because I need to know. I've got a lot of filing to do.
Dude, there was this I don't remember where it was, somewhere on a Facebook group or something that I saw. Somebody wrote something like, hey, if I'm racist, does that necessarily make me a bad person? And I was like,
yes.
Yeah. What? It was like an am I the asshole type thing or whatever.
Yes.
And I went in and I was like, well, yes, of course it does.
Yes,
like,
it does.
Like, is being a bad person indicative of my bad personhood? Like, well, like yes. It's fucking definitional, man.
Yeah.
And the person who asked it, like, kind of like argued with me a little. They're like, well, I don't do anything about it. It's just how I feel. I'm like, but you're bad inside.
You gotta work on
like
you,
you're bad
bro.
inside of you. And I was like, if you ever had an apple and it looks nice on the outside, then you go to cut it, and you're like, oh, fuck, it's all rotten inside. That wasn't a good apple.
Yeah.
It was a bad, shitty piece of, you're a bad, shitty piece of fruit. This guy isn't out loud in everything, but most importantly, he's empowered.
Yeah.
And he's institutionally empowered. And he's in a position where the work that he's doing, representing our government.
Sure, yeah.
As a prosecutor, representing our government, he is biased going in. Yeah. He is racist going in. He is motivated in the worst, most reprehensible ways starting his job, waking up in the morning.
You can't have people like that working for the government. And you know, like this has been their plan for a long time, to remove a bunch of people and put the worst people and yes people in these positions. And they had, I mean, read 2025. We talked about it. Read Project 2025.
They're just doing it.
We talked about it.
Yeah.
So we know what they were going to, we know their plan. We knew what they were going to do. So they had this plan. This guy is got job security like galore. There's no way there's no way anybody in the ICE would. I mean, Holman would probably have dinner at his house. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, right. Yeah. You're not wrong at all.
No, you fucking promote that guy. Make him in charge of ICE for entire Texas.
Yeah. Do you remember like a few weeks ago? I don't know. Fucking, it feels like a year ago, but it couldn't have been more than 3 or 4 weeks ago. When that Doge guy, they found out
he was a total racist.
And JD Vance was like, yeah, so what?
Yeah.
Rehire him.
What are you going to do?
He was like, rehire that guy.
What are you going to do?
Who cares that he's a fucking racist?
What are you going to do about it? We're in charge. What are you going to do about it?
That's it.
Yeah. And I think like if we learn anything, you learn that it's scorched earth when you're back in there. It's fucking scorched earth because they're pulling no punches.
None.
They're pulling no punches. So the moment you come back in, you scorch earth and then you limit executive power.
You've got it's not even, I think it was in the New York Times yesterday or this morning. I don't remember, but there was a story where some of the justices that are being appointed right now are openly advocating that if the president doesn't want to follow judicial
it's okay.
rulings, that's fine. So if the courts are like, hey, man, you can't do that, we're at a place where they just might do it anyway.
Yeah.
And once that happens, there's nothing else.
There's no democracy at that point.
That's it. Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's it.
And
there's no other recourse.
There was a save this week by Roberts. There was one judge had wanted to make sure that the federal aid payments went out.
Yeah.
So he's like, the federal aid payments got to go out. You can't just do that unilaterally. And Roberts was like, hold on. Let's let the courts decide. You can't just make this happen. We're going to do it the other way around. So the president gets his way until the courts say no.
Yeah.
He flipped it around.
Well,
that tells you, I think, everything you need to know about the Supreme Court.
It does.
Right? It tells you everything you need to know.
100%.
I think that there's going to be some moments where these are fucking professional people that I think don't want somebody to tell them what to do. So I think they will sometimes push back on this executive power. I think they almost have to. I can't imagine somebody getting to that position and not feeling like they have some sort of say in this. Right?
Yeah, what scares me though is like, let's say it goes up to the Supreme Court and the Supreme Court decides against Trump. And Trump's just like, nah, I don't really care. I'm doing it anyway.
Yeah.
There's nothing after that. Like, we're out of other options after that. Like, we've never tested it that way. Yeah. That's a full-on constitutional crisis. At that point, what happens?
Yeah.
And I don't think from what I'm reading, like, nobody knows what happens because up until now, it's like, oh, I lost in court. And then that's over. If you can appeal when you run out of appeals, you go up to the Supreme Court, whatever it is, you run out of appeals. Like, the courts are the ultimate arbiter.
But look at what happens if he says no. So let's say he says no.
Yeah.
And he's like, no. And then you'd be like, okay, cool. Well, all the decisions that the Supreme Court made, we don't have to follow. At this point, I don't have to follow
now it's
any
anarchy.
of them. Now I don't have to follow any of them.
Yeah.
So Illinois can just be like, yeah, there's no more guns. We're not allowing guns anymore. Or whatever it is.
Right,
whatever Supreme Court thing that they've made a decision on, they can be like, yeah, that's bullshit. We're just going to do it. We're just going to do it.
That's what I mean.
Other states that even, that have abortion or whatever, people could just be like, yeah, I'm just going to do it. Like, fuck you. I'm just going to start an abortion clinic.
What do you do? Take me to court?
It's like, you can't take me to court. Like, they could arrest you, I guess, but they can't take you to court. Like, what are they going to do? So
when we give the president complete immunity, this is exactly what we should expect. Yeah. Because like the thing that holds us back from ignoring the court is that the cops show up.
Yeah, we don't have immunity.
The cops show up and they put you in handcuffs. Yeah. And now
that's what I was saying. States initially, it's like states. Like, what are you going to do? You got to bring troops in then to make the state comply.
Yeah,
yeah.
I wonder. Like, it would be complete anarchy.
Yeah, I don't know.
Complete anarchy.
I would say he's probably going to do that.
You think he'll stay bound? Wait, do which? You think he'll be bound by the law, or
no? He won't be bound. I think he's gonna tell the law not to. Because look at how they handled the subpoena stuff with Congress.
That's true. They just didn't do it.
They just didn't do it.
Yeah.
So I think like they're just not going to do it.
Yeah. I don't disagree, man. I think if they lose in court, they'll just be like, well, I mean, he fucking tweeted it out.
Yeah.
He tweeted out like, if you're saving the country, you can't break the law.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess he fucking already said what he's going to do. And at this point, don't we have to believe it? Because when he said the other things he was going to do.
Yeah.
And now he's doing them.
He's doing them. Yeah.
And like, isn't it on us to be like, all right.
Yeah.
You did tell me.
We were not beaten by the best.
Yeah, we were.